Sports, you're in the Hoodwood. I'm the Black Bandit, KJ Green, welcoming you to another edition of Sports from the Hoodwood. Coming up this week, we previewed the NFC last week, so it's just right we'll do the AFC this week. Who finishes in what order in each of the four divisions, and what players are key to their success or possible failures. Is realignment on the horizon for not only Major League Baseball, but in college football? Are we looking at the cannibalization of the major college divisions? Take a look at that. Also, my final word from the wood, the curious case of Ben Simmons. People say I'm picking on him, but I still got something to say. All that, all sorts of hot takes coming up. Hey, Snuffy's here too. I don't know if he's in the picture, but Sports from the Hoodwood coming at you. Put your crash helmets on, buckle your seatbelts, and let's go.
You're tuned in to Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's foremost location for the most honest, unfiltered commentary and insight on the world of sports. Now, once again, here's Hoodwood's hometown hero, KJ Green.
Greetings from the Hoodwood, where if I adjust the camera, you can see slightly. The Hoodwood Hound has returned. He was kind of missing in action with the move, things being kind of crazy. Things are in flux, so things may look ragged behind me, so you're just going to have to forgive me. I'm your man, KJ Green, welcoming you to another edition of Sports from the Hoodwood. Let's start out right from the top. Major League Baseball. Are we looking at another realignment and expansion? MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred at the Little League the Williamsport game just this past Sunday between the Mariners and the Mets quietly hinted that he is optimistic that the Major League Baseball will be expanding to 32 teams in the not too distant future. With the A's moving to Las Vegas, you have an influx of cities that may be jockeying for position in the latest round of Major League Baseball expansion, which, if you think about it, Major League Baseball hasn't expanded its teams in 27 years when the Rays and the Diamondbacks came online. That was 1998, people. Now, people are like, well, there's been some shuffling around. Milwaukee went from the AL to the NL. Houston went from the NL to the AL. There's been some moving around. There's been some shuffling of divisions. Montreal disappeared. Washington came online. The A's, just a mess moving from Oakland to Sacramento to Las Vegas. It's just a big old hullabaloo. But what it's looking like is that Major League Baseball will add 2 more teams. Now think about this. Nearly a quarter century ago, Major League Baseball was trying to contract 2 teams. Montreal and Minnesota were the 2 teams that were looking like they were going to put them on the chopping block. Now, Major League Baseball wants to add 2 teams. It's cash grab. That's all it is. I mean, you think about it. Major League Baseball has expanded 1961, 1969, 1976, 1993, and 1998. Each time, Major League Baseball got a huge chunk of money from teams or cities that wanted to come online. The last expansion in 1998, the teams were about $200 million to expand, to join the quote-unquote, if I like to call it, foolish club of Major League Baseball owners. We're looking at a team, whether it be Nashville, Portland, Charlotte, there's a bunch of teams that are in the mix. Or I should say cities that are in the mix. We're looking at upwards of close to $500 million to $1 billion just to get in the game. What makes it even worse, now if you're adding 2 more teams, now you're going to have 32 teams. Where are you going to put them in what division? Rob Manfred, in his glorious wisdom, is floated the idea of making 8 divisions. And radically realigning the divisions. I'm going to see if I can put some B-roll in here and have a graphic in here to show you what some of the proposals are. And they're foolish. You're thinking about putting both LA teams in the same division. You think about putting the Yankees and the Mets in the same division, both Chicago teams in the same division. You're thinking about moving teams radically, throwing away decades of tradition and rivalries just to save airfare? Are you serious? After you're going to get somewhere between $500 million to $2 billion, you guys are going to cheap out for this? Nah, dog. This is insanity. When it comes to expansion, I'm thinking you're diluting the talent just that much further. But it's a naked cash grab by Major League Baseball and the 30 greedy owners. Are they going to share any of this money with the players? No. I mean, yes, there's going to be 50 more jobs in the major leagues for borderline players. And you're going to have two teams that you're going to be able to beat up on for a good while. I mean, the Diamondbacks in 98 came on board in 98. They made the playoffs the second year they were in existence, won the World Series 3 years out. But that is an anomaly so far removed. Most of the expansion teams go anywhere from 7 to 10 years before they even have a winning record, much less be playoff worthy, much less win a World Series. Now, again, you have your wild exceptions. The Marlins bought themselves a World Series in 97. The Diamondbacks were put together very, very judiciously and won the World Series in their third year of existence. But something like that, it's not going to happen. Major League Baseball making an expansion, the Hoodwood sees it as a cash grab, a naked cash grab. And while I'd be interested to see what teams or what cities come online, the radical realignment is just not something I like. Now, with college football just about ready to kick off here in the next few days, the conferences are getting back used to being these super conferences. The Big 10 plus 8. The SEC has 16 teams. The Big 12 has 16 teams. ACC is trying to stay as relevant as the Power 4 conference. And the Pac-12, they've been cannibalized to the point where you barely recognize them, and I don't think them as a power conference anymore. But there are rumors and rumblings that even now with the power conferences, the Big 10 and the SEC being the two kingpins of the major conferences, they want a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to the college playoff. Now, right now, we've got 12 teams, which I think is the perfect scenario for college football playoff. You know, I talked about this before with the top 4 teams getting a bye and the 5 through 8 getting home games and the first round on campus sites. I loved seeing Tennessee playing Ohio State at night in the Horseshoe. Now, Ohio State spanked that ass, no question. But it was so refreshing to see high stakes games in December on campus sites. The neutral sites for the semifinals and the finals, whatever. I can live with those. But now the SEC and the Big 10 want a bigger piece of the pie. They want to expand the playoffs and get more guaranteed spots in for their upper echelon teams. It's almost like they want to build in playoff spots, guaranteed playoff spots for your Ohio States, for your Michigans, for your Alabamas, for your Georgias, and then have your cycle of teams bubble up to the top to have it's once every 5 years where they're in the playoffs. I don't like this. I like the champions of the conferences, which makes the conference championship games worth that much more. Conference champions, possibly some runner-ups, and some wild cards. Leave room at the table for your group of 5 or group of 6 or whatever the lesser conferences are. For your Americans, for your Pac-12s, for your possibly wild card MAC, something like that. But now it seems that you have the upper echelon Big Ten and SEC teams wanting to cannibalize their own. They're wanting to lop off. Now, they more or less tried to make a power grab and grab these West Coast teams. Big Ten did, getting USC, UCLA, Oregon. Now they're in the Big Ten. The SEC, and then an increasing conference arms race, they got Texas and Oklahoma. But now you're wondering if the major teams, the upper echelon teams, are looking to shove the quote unquote dead weight off, where the Big Ten will want to get rid of a Rutgers or Northwestern, or SEC will want to get rid of a Vanderbilt or a Kentucky or Missouri. I don't think they get rid of Kentucky because they're too strong in basketball. And that's another thing. Football has been driving this conference realignment so radically that the other sports are trying to keep up. The Big Ten should be 10 to 12 teams, Midwestern teams. The SEC should be 12 to 14 teams, mostly based in the southeastern part of the country. This whole expansion is going to be bad for the game because eventually you're going to get too unwieldy and you're going to have these powerful teams that are saying, why are we giving a piece of the pie to these lesser teams, even though they're in their conference? You're going to see a Michigan looking down on an Illinois, an Ohio State looking down on a Rutgers. And why are you're not with us? You're not as powerful as us. You don't have the endowment that we do. And then the Big 12, which has smartly picked up enough teams where they are still a power conference, 16 teams, but they are still wielding, but they are more powerful in basketball than they are in football. Football, they're decent, but basketball is where they really make their bones. The Big Ten and the SEC are on the warpath, and they will not stop until they steamroll everybody in their way and make it so that there's only a handful of teams in the Big Ten and a handful of teams in the SEC that are going to break away and do their own thing. They've got the TV money, they've got the NIL money, they've got the juice, they've got the influence. And college football, as we know it, in the next 5 to 10 years, you thought the last 5 to 10 years were crazy? You thought those were bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. I previewed the NFC last week. Now we'll preview the AFC with the NFL season right up over the horizon and teams finishing up their preseason games. Now we look at the AFC and who I think in the Hoodwood how the divisions will shake out. We'll start with AFC East. And of course, you have the Buffalo Bills. They are the bully of the division still. As long as Josh Allen has his health, the Bills will be the team to beat in this division. They have the offensive talent. They have the defensive firepower. They have enough to win 11, 12 games and if not dominate the division, but be enough of a bully where they will have home games at the soon-to-be closing Highmark Stadium. They're moving to another facility kind of across the way, which I don't see why they're making it a smaller venue, but that's neither here nor there. Buffalo is the top dog, as I see, in the AFC East. What I have coming in second, the Miami Dolphins. Now, Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat. His teams have played badly inconsistent the last few years and are taking the talents of Tua Tagovailoa and, if not wasting them, not utilizing them properly. They are good enough to keep the lower echelon teams in the AFC East behind them, but they're not good enough to consistently challenge the Buffalo Bills for division supremacy. As long as Tagovailoa has his health, the Dolphins should be relatively good for anywhere from 9 to 11 wins. But I don't think that they're good enough to challenge the Bills in the East. Who I have third in the AFC East? The New England Patriots. Young team, still growing. And even though I still don't think I didn't like the way they did Jared Mayo as they're giving 1 year and then giving him the gate. Mike Vrabel will have enough of that old Patriot culture and redevelop it and make the Patriots a good team. Not this year, but soon enough. Bringing up the rear in the AFC East, I have the New York Jets. Their quarterback situation is an absolute mess. Justin Fields will now try to bring some stability to the quarterback situation after the Aaron Rodgers experiment went so badly sideways the last 2 years. But the Jets have a so-so offense, but their defense, other than Sauce Gardner, is not really anything to really speak of. And that offense, Justin Fields is going to have a hard enough time staying upright. Now, in the AFC North, as much as I would love to see the Bengals do well, I can't put them in first place. The team I have winning that division is the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is a perennial MVP candidate. And there's a guy that's on that team. I can't think of his name. Big running back, bigger than everybody. Derrick Henry. I know who we're talking about. And as long as Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are a 1-2 punch for that offense, Baltimore is going to be a tough team to stop during the regular season. Now, come playoff time, tough call for them. I can't trust Lamar Jackson to get the Ravens deep in the playoffs. And the pressure's mounting on John Harbaugh to deliver another title for Baltimore. Now, coming in second, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a team that would make a holy man cuss. They are so talented on the offensive side. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They have the offensive weapons that can put the points up. The problem is their defense will give points just that fast away. And with disgruntled linebacker Trey Hendrickson not getting the kind of money and contract he wants, he's going to be a free agent. And no one knows if he's going to stay longer than this year. The Bengals have offered him in trade, which makes a so-so defense even worse. If you get rid of him, you've got no pressure on the quarterback. And I don't care that they have Shamar Stewart as a hot rookie. I don't think he's going to be able to step into the breach. The Bengals will be lucky to match that 9-win season they had last year. Coming in third, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers got Aaron Rodgers. Big deal. They have no offensive punch. They have no discernible home run hitter at running back. Their wide receiver room is spotty at best. Mike Tomlin still does it with mirrors. He'll have a winning season. I can almost guarantee it. But he won't get that team into the playoffs, much less get them deep in the playoffs. This is Aaron Rodgers' swan song, and it won't be pretty. Bringing up the rear, far in the rear, is the Cleveland Browns. Their quarterback room is so messy. It's messier than this room. Cleveland has so many issues and so many problems. Was this a playoff team 2 years ago? I mean, Joe Flacco, he's still in this league? Yes, Joe Flacco is still in this league and will get the starting nod for the Cleveland Browns. How long he'll stay in and stay healthy is anybody's guess. But the Browns have way too many problems to challenge any of those three teams in the AFC North. Take a timeout, come back, and preview the rest of the AFC. Sports from Hoodwood rolls on after this.
Is today your last day on Earth because you are being deployed to space tomorrow? Have you just turned 18 and you're ready to get out of your parents' house? Has your granddaughter gotten her boyfriend pregnant? Whatever your reason, You need us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com. We specialize in last-minute weddings. Active duty, military veterans and retired discounts are available. Visit us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com.
You're tuned in to Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's foremost location for the most honest insight, thorough analysis, and unfiltered opinion on the world of sports. Now, once again, here's the man of the hour, After Hours, your host, KJ Green.
Continuing on in the Hoodwood, my name is KJ Green. Let's continue with the AFC Preview, shall we? And look at the AFC South. Now, the AFC South, I still say the Houston Texans are the team to beat. CJ Stroud made a believer out of me. I was highly skeptical if he could if he could make any kind of damage in that division and make this team a contender. He's made this team a top-notch team. He's made a believer out of me. Now, can they get deep in the playoffs? There are too many tough teams in the AFC, and I just can't see them. They can get out of the division, but any further than that, no. Coming in second, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. If any team is due for a bounce back, it's Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Can they make any noise as a playoff berth? I don't know. 9 wins? Possibly. Playoffs? I really can't see it. Coming in third, I have the Tennessee Titans. This is another team that's in flux. Just second-year coaching Brian Callahan. So much flux at quarterback. Running game's a mess. Defense, while decent, I can't really see them making that much noise in the division. Can they win 7 or 8 games? It's a possibility. Will they make the playoffs? No. Bring up the rear of the Indianapolis Colts. This is a sad coda for a proud franchise that has been, at one time, one of the elite teams. But they've fallen on hard times. Since Andrew Luck retired, the Colts have had 12, count them, 12 quarterbacks starting for that team. They have no stability in the quarterback, and they're turning to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, for crying out loud. Why is he allowed to have a starting job in this league? Why are they not trying to develop Anthony Richardson? Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. But the Colts have no discernible running game. The Colts have a wide receiving core. Of course, Alec Pierce, former Bearcat, is decent enough to catch some passes. But do you trust Daniel Jones? Seriously. Do you trust Daniel Jones? I don't. That's why the Colts are going to finish last in the AFC South. Turning to the AFC West, now this is a dangerous division. You have you could put any one of 3 teams, the Chiefs, the Broncos, or the Chargers, in a hat, draw it out, say they're going to go first, they're going to win the division, and you could possibly be right. It's still the Chiefs' division to lose. But Patrick Mahomes is starting to show his age, and he's starting to get a lot of that mileage, and the Chiefs are trying to run it back one more time, and you don't know how long Andy Reid's going to continue to coach. He's won titles. The Chiefs went to the Super Bowl. They got their backs blown out, but they are still the kingpin of the AFC and the AFC West. I have them finishing first in that division. But it will not be a cakewalk. They will struggle, and they have struggled. And the offense, while you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Travis Kelce, you have the great wide receiving core there, good running game, but that defense is starting to get a little shaky. And with other quality teams in that division, playing half-ass ain't going to get you. You're not going to be able to show up and win 14 games by just snapping your fingers. Second place, I was debating back and forth on this, but I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers against my better judgment. Justin Herbert, is he a latter-day Dan Fouts? Putting up bushels of numbers, only get nowhere into the playoffs, or get to the playoffs and get run out quickly? It's a possibility, but This time, I'm going to pick them second in the division, that they can push the Chiefs just enough to make it interesting. Third in the division, I have the Denver Broncos. I don't trust Sean Payton. I can't stand Sean Payton, to be honest. And he's banking on Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Are you serious? He is really believing that he can make Bo Nix into a legitimate great quarterback. I can't see it. And while the Broncos made the playoffs, even though it was a cameo appearance, they got busted out by the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. I think that they regress a little bit and fall back to third. Bringing up the rear of the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have pieces. Geno Smith coming over from the Seahawks. I love Ashton Jeanty. I think he's going to be a quality running back in this league, and he's going to make the Raiders a respectable team, but not this year. They bring up the rear in the AFC West. There you have it. The previews will start not next week, but the week after, with the Thursday night game, the Eagles and the Cowboys leading off the season, and then we'll do all the picks of all the games every week. Take a final time out, come back with the final word from the Wood. Sports from the Hoodwood heads down the home stretch after this.
Is today your last day on Earth because you are being deployed to space tomorrow? Have you just turned 18 and you're ready to get out of your parents' house? Has your granddaughter gotten her boyfriend pregnant? Whatever your reason, you need us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com. We specialize in last-minute weddings. Active duty, military veterans and retired discounts are available. Visit us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com.
You're tuned into Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's foremost location for no-nonsense commentary, insight, and opinions on the world of sports. Here now live in living color, black by popular demand, your host, KJ Green.
And now, without much further ado, we'll finish up strong with the final word from the Wood. I've been accused of going after low-hanging fruit when it comes to some sports topics. One of the topics that will never fail to get a rise out of me is the curious case of one Benjamin David Simmons. Ben Simmons, the first pick of the 2016 draft of the Philadelphia 76ers, the player who just seems to defy any kind of logic when it comes to a top player. And many people will say, well, he's a bust. Some people say he's a package of unrealized potential, untapped potential. Some have said that it's a matter of he's not been coached properly. I look at Simmons' numbers and I see a player that averaged somewhere between 14 and 16 points a game, averaged a healthy somewhere between 7 to 8 assists a game, and anywhere between 7 to 9 rebounds a game over the course of his first 4 seasons in the league, after missing the first, what would have been his rookie season in 2016, missing the whole season with a foot injury. But he rebounded with the 17-18 Rookie of the Year. That being said, the number of games that Simmons has missed has steadily increased. When he played 81 games in his rookie year, when he won Rookie of the Year, and declined to 79, 57, and 58 his last 2 years in Philadelphia, many of which were marred by disagreements with coaching and management over his playing time, playing style, and if he was mentally fit to play. After another season missed with injury, Simmons was dealt to the Brooklyn Nets late in the 22-23 season. Simmons played a grand total of 90 games. He was paid $124 million for 90 games. I'm living wrong, because that kind of money for that little production is a travesty. After 90 games with the Nets over the course of the parts of 3 seasons, Simmons was waived by the Nets on February 8th, 2025. On February 10th, 2025, he was signed by the Los Angeles Clippers, and he played the rest of the season in LA. Making his Clippers debut on February 13th, he put up 12 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and a block in a win over the Utah Jazz. But by and large, Simmons' time in LA for the Clippers was a massive disappointment. He played 17 games with the Clippers, got no starts, and averaged a meager 2.9 points a game. A falling off of blinding sorts from the once career high of 16.9 he achieved in the 2018-2019 season. Reviewing Ben Simmons' stats only skim the surface of what I find is a bastion of unrealized and untapped potential. Simmons, at 6'9", playing guard, is taller than most guards that would be trying to check him. He's quicker and more agile than most forwards trying to guard him. That being said, Simmons lacks the intestinal fortitude to really mix it up. And the later it's gotten in his career, the less he has been wanting to play. And the more he's more concerned about his drip than his abysmal free throw shooting. That in itself is enough to want to plaster the bust tag on him. You look at certain players who didn't fulfill their potential. Greg Oden comes to mind. But Oden was often injured, missing numerous seasons, full seasons, with a plethora of injuries. Simmons has been injured too. He's had a bad back. He's had back injuries, back trouble, numerous times in his career. And one would wonder if the injuries have begun to take a toll on his mental health, which has been led to blame for the reason why he hasn't been playing. Ben Simmons may be a case study on everything that could go wrong, would go wrong in the sense of a player. If he had the fire to continue to come back like a Greg Oden, who no one ever questioned his heart, his passion for the game. The guy just couldn't stay healthy. But one would question Simmons's intestinal fortitude if he really wants to play, or if he's just more concerned about the big checks that teams seem to continue wanting to throw his way. And that is the final word from the Wood. Now, with the music coming up in the background, you know that means your time here in the Hoodwood is just about done, and I thank you so much again for your visit. The show's email is kjgreen@sportsfromthehoodwood.com. Please send me emails regarding show topics, both past and future, questions, comments on the show, both praise and criticism. I welcome your correspondence, and we'll try to get back to you in a timely manner. The show's website is sportsfromthehoodwood.com, which has a back catalog of the show dating back 13 years of both audio and video forms. Do check that out if there are shows that you may have missed. Join the debate and conversation on the Sports from the Hoodwood page on Facebook. It has video podcast simulcast, as well as other topics, funny stuff I find on the web, and plenty of great sports debate, and lots more. I post often there and do respond to member posts frequently. There's lots of good things being posted on there, so do check that out. And the video versions are also on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button for more great content. Now, the link to the podcast is also on the show's Blue Sky feed, which you're getting that back up at hoodwoodsports.bskysocial, with a host of interesting stuff to find there. Your correspondence with the show is encouraged, and we do respond back, so do like and follow there as well. The audio version is on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Samsung Podcast, Apple Podcast, and a host of other podcast platforms and providers. If the Hoodwood is not on your favorite, please do ask for it. Drop me a line and I'll see what I can do to get that on your favorite podcast provider. We've expanded our podcast availability thanks to your correspondence, so we are responding and we do listen and we do appreciate your correspondence. Special thanks to Rage Pictures for providing production assistance for both the show and the website. And that is that from the Hoodwood. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, until next time, fellow sports fans, I'm Merely Bev's son, KJ Green.
Sports from the Hoodwood
is a Black Bandit Productions and Enterprises presentation
of a 551 audio and films production.